It's over. It's done. NASCAR and the teams have finally reached a settlement in the big 2025. Is this reality? Hello, everybody. My name is Brody. Welcome back to the channel. We have groundbreaking announcements here today. We have just learned that NASCAR 2311 Racing and Front Row Motorsports have, in fact, reached a settlement. After more than a year of the potential litigation leading to real litigation, it's over. Last week, the NASCAR 2311 and Front Row lawsuit actually began. They were bringing witnesses and testifying all last week and into this week. And NASCAR actually had planned to continue all the way till Friday with their testimony and bring in their witnesses for their side. But it's all over today. Shocking, the teams in the NASCAR entity have actually reached a settlement. And they didn't disclose a lot of information. A lot of it is confidential and private, mainly the financial factors. But we do have some tidbits and things that matter to us fans, matter to us teams, and can really shape the future of NASCAR. As you can see, I'm wearing my NASCAR sweater and my Denny Hamlin Sports Clips hat, just commemorating the bond, the new bond they have in making NASCAR go, not being out of feud with each other. I'm happy, I'm excited as a fan, and I know a lot of you fans are excited too. So I wanted to dive in with you guys with some statements made by the teams, NASCAR executives, and ownership. So to start off, I have a post from 2311 Racing themselves and Front Row Motorsports. And they don't disclose a lot of information, but the key factors are at the top and at the middle paragraph. So NASCAR 2311 Racing and Front Row Motorsports are pleased to announce a mutually agreed upon resolution that delivers long-term stability and creates the conditions for meaningful growth for all teams in a competitive environment. And then it breaks off into like a word salad almost, to where they don't want to disclose any further information just yet. And they're saying, yeah, it's for the sport, it's for everybody to have a better outlook and future and yada yada. But then the next part, the most important part for us fans and for us team and for the teams and for NASCAR, is down here. It says, as a condition of the settlement agreement, NASCAR will issue an amendment to existing charter holders detailing the updated terms for signature, which will include a form of evergreen charters subject to mutual agreement. The financial terms of the settlement are confidential and will not be released. Evergreen charters, ladies and gentlemen, that is the key. That is the point. That is the factual, undisputed, most important part here. Evergreen charters means permanent charters. That means they're not going to go away. NASCAR has given up that feud, that inkling. They never wanted to give that up. Jim France multiple times was painted as a stick in the mud. Never wanted to give that up. But here he is in his NASCAR entity, giving that up to the teams. And for the teams, this is amazing news. This is long-term financial stability that they are insured. NASCAR charters are selling for up towards $50 million these days. I believe the first one sold for around $2 million, and then it got getting higher and higher and higher and higher, and now it's up to 45, 50 million. And this is a huge win for the teams, because if they ever wanted to back out of the sport, they can sell that and know that they can sell that. And having charters not permanent is as though you invest in the stock market, you have 100% ROI on your investment, and then the government says, or even the company says, we're going private, and you lose all your stock with the money you invested. We're taking that too. That is kind of what the charter system felt like. And a lot of teams felt like that. And Denny Hamlin, Michael Jordan, Front Row, and Bob Iger felt like that. So this is a huge win for the teams. To follow up, here is a quote from Denny Hamlin right after the settlement got released. Denny Hamlin said, "I've cared deeply about the sport of NASCAR my entire life. Racing is all I've ever known. And this sport shaped who I am. That's why we are willing to shoulder the challenges that come with taking this stand." And at the end, he says, "I'm proud of what we've accomplished, and now it is time to move forward together and build the stronger future this sport deserves." And that's perfectly said. That's all this settlement should entail. There should be no hard feelings, no bad blood, no animosity continued forward into this next season. There should be a mutual sigh of relief that this is done, this is over. And I think even though NASCAR probably thinks they've given up a big chunk, I think it betters the sport in the long run because you're going to have a lot more firms and big ownership groups and teams wanting to stick around or invest or double down and build up their teams now that they know they have financial security. That's a big deal. And moving on from Denny Hamlin, he also has a tweet, which I thought was interesting, what I share with you guys. He said, "Standing up isn't easy, but progress never comes from staying silent. The reward is knowing you changed something." And I bet Denny Hamlin is over the moon and excited because he was the front runner, the showman, the leader of this entire pursuit. He was always on his podcast, always in the media, promoting this to the fans that, hey, this is good. This is positive change. So I bet Denny Hamlin is excited, and I bet Michael Jordan is excited. I have a quote from Michael Jordan as well. He says, "From the beginning, this lawsuit was about progress. It was about making sure our sport evolves in a way that supports everybody, teams, partners, drivers, employees, and fans, with a foundation to build equity and invest in the future and a strong voice in the decisions ahead." And then he wants to look forward to fighting hard and competing in 2026, which I'm sure everybody in the industry wants to just move on to 2026 because it is a big year for NASCAR. Shoulder to shoulder with 2311 Racing was Front Row Motorsports, and I have a quote from Bob Jenkins, the owner of Front Row Motorsports. He says, "After more than 20 years in the sport, today gives me real confidence in where we're headed. I love the sport, and it was clear we needed a system that treated our teams, drivers, and sponsors fairly and kept the competition strong." And then he looks forward to competing in 2026 and that he has a deep, deep, deep love for the sport. And that's key here, is the love of NASCAR everybody shares, wanting to compete, wanting to see these loud V8 engines on track. That is what is most important. And that's what we need to get back to. We need to put all this behind us, realize it's an overall gain for the sport and in the long longevity. So another key comment I have for you guys is from Jim France, who was the catalyst, who never wanted permit charters. And he had this to say: "This outcome gives all parties the flexibility and confidence to continue delivering unforgettable moments for our fans, which has always been our highest priority since the sport was founded in 1948. We worked closely with race teams to create the NASCAR charter system in 2016, and it has proven invaluable to their operations and to the quality of racing across the Cup Series. Today's agreement reaffirms our commitment to preserving and enhancing that value, ensuring our fans continue to enjoy the very best of stock car racing for generations to come. We are excited to return the collective focus of our sport and teams and racetracks forward to our incredible 78th season of the Daytona." Just going back to 2026 season, trying to get back focused on racing. So I found those comments interesting because in the testimony, he did not sound that enthused. He barely gave any comments whatsoever. So it's a little bit of a taking it down the chin, I guess. Like this, it was inevitable that this probably had to happen. But I mean, if he really feels that way, he really feels that way, and I'm happy for him. I'm happy for the sport, and this is great news. This is amazing news. As a fan, I'm super excited because I think a lot of the good's going to come from it. The team's going to have more power. The teams are going to have more financial stability, and I think the investment coming into the sport, the investment into the teams, there'll be more sponsors willing. There will be less overall uncertainty, and that is the key important part. At the moment, this is all the information we really have. Not anything else was clearly disclosed. No financial terms, no indications that teams got anything more. Obviously, they probably have financially. NASCAR probably has to pay a lot of settlement fees for covering the extensive, over a year long research process and the manpower and the labor. Like, there's probably a lot of financials there. Other than that, I wonder if the teams have gotten more say in decisions made by NASCAR. I know that was a big part of their quest, other than permanent charters, was to have a bigger say. So it is yet to be seen if that's true, if they got that. I bet they got a little bit of that, but obviously the key here is permanent charters, and that was the number one thing the teams wanted. So they successfully have won. I don't know if the teams had to give anything up for that. That remains to be seen. I doubt it. Maybe they have to give up something, but I don't know what else they could give up. uh, but yeah, that's my raw 2 cents of the situation. I thank you guys for tuning in to this crazy news and me reacting to it with you guys as fans. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I am anticipating more news to come out soon. I will have a lot more videos coming out in the near future with regards to the sport and playoff formats and the big news in 2026. We can move on towards that stuff finally. But yeah, thank you guys so much for your viewership. Thank you for giving me a chance. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I look forward to seeing you guys in other videos. And thank you so much again for following me and giving me a chance. And yeah, have a great, wonderful, and even splendid rest of your day. See you guys.